Welcome all, my dear friends. Let us look at the picture here. Okay, you can see a beautiful bird here. Okay, and what he is doing? He is preparing himself to publish. He is preparing to show his skills to the world. He is preparing to show his flying skill. That's why he want to express himself or he want to publish himself. Okay, so with this beautiful thought, let us continue our journey in the world of IPR by picking a section of the Patents Act 1970 as amended by Amendment Act 2005. Okay friends, let us proceed. Again, an old slide from my first lecture, and here it is shown just to refresh our memory. Okay, so here we can see the particular form, particular section and a rule. Okay, so here actually till now we have discussed up to form number 8, and that's why today is the turn for form number 9. Okay, so let us see. Form number 9 is request for publication. Okay, the relevant section is section 11A, whose title is publication of applications, and the relevant rule is rule 24A, whose title is request for publication. So here you can see the keyword for the particular form, the particular rule and the particular section. Fine. So we can very easily establish the relationship between these three, and we will discuss the relevant sections and rules in detail in an individual way. Okay friends, so let us proceed. Today I have taken the relevant section for form number 9, and the relevant section here is section 11A, whose title is publication of applications. Okay, and this comes from chapter 4, that is publication and examination of applications. Fine. Okay, so let us proceed. Well friends, as I always do, I have picked up the keywords from the specific subsections of section 11A. Okay, so and by just remembering these key points, these keywords or the key phrases, you can very well recall the gist of the subsections of a particular section. Okay, and again I am telling you, these are my words, these are my keywords, my key phrases. You can choose your own. Fine. Okay, so let us see. So for subsection 1, this is the key phrase is open to the public. For subsection 2, this is request the controller. For subsection 3, this is expiry of the period. For subsection 4, this is secrecy direction. For subsection 5, this is identifying the application. For subsection 6, this is depository institution. And for subsection 7, the keyword is infringement. Okay, so please try to remember these things and try to correlate. That means by remembering these keywords, you can very well remember the subsections and you can correlate all the subsections of a section very well, very easily. Fine, so let us proceed. Subsection 1. Subsection 1 says, save as otherwise provided, no application for patent shall ordinarily be open to the public for such period as may be prescribed. Okay, very simple, but we have to understand this in detail. Fine. So the keyword or the key phrase here is open to the public. Okay, and what it is written here, no application for patent shall ordinarily be open to the public. Okay, so in simple words we can say, or we can summarize this statement as follows. Okay, so let us see. A patent application shall not be open to the public for a specific period of 18 months. Okay, so within this 18 months, a patent application cannot be public. Okay. Next, normally the patent application is published in the official patent office journal automatically after 18 months from the date of filing of the application or the priority date, whichever is applicable. Okay, so that means we can say normally or generally from the date of filing, that means when we calculate from the date of filing of the patent application, okay, then after 18 months, the patent application is published in the patent office journal automatically. Okay, and here we may take the date of filing of the application or the priority date. Whichever is applicable, we can take that. Fine. Another thing, the provisional application, unless filed as a complete specification before the expiry, that means 12 months from the date of filing. 12 months from the date of filing of the provisional application. Okay, so we can read it again. The provisional application, unless filed as a complete specification before the expiry, are neither published nor examined. It should be nor. Just a minute, just a second, friends. It should be nor, right? At the end of the 12th month, if the provisional application is still alone, then it reaches an abandoned state. Okay, so also remember one thing, friends, that only we can say complete applications or complete specifications only are published. If due to some reason a complete specification is not filed and only a provisional application is filed, then at the end of the 12th month, this provisional application remains alone because it is not accompanied by a complete specification. Then the application reaches an abandoned state. That's why just remember one thing, only complete specifications or complete applications are published. Okay, so also you can refer to the relevant rule, that is rule 24, and the title is publication of application. Okay, so I think, friends, now this subsection is pretty much clear. Okay, so let us proceed to the next one. Subsection 2 says, the applicant may, in the prescribed manner, request the controller to publish his application at any time before the expiry of the period prescribed under subsection 1, and subject to the provisions of subsection 3, the controller shall publish such application as soon as possible. Okay, here the key phrase is request the controller. Okay, that means what happens here, the applicant in the prescribed manner request the controller to publish his application when at any time before the expiry of the period prescribed. The period prescribed under subsection 1 is 18 months from the date of filing of the application. Fine. And subject to the provisions of subsection 3. And subject to the provisions of subsection 3 also. Mandatory condition. Okay, take a look at this operator. Then the controller shall publish such application as soon as possible. Okay, so we can say in simple words that for early publication request under rule 24A, the application will normally be published within 1 month from the day of request. So we can say that the relevant rule is rule 24A, whose title is request for publication, and the relevant form is form number 9. The title is request for publication. So you can see the similarity between this rule and this form. Okay. So when you have to remember only one title, and this is applicable for both. Fine. So just remember here, for early publication request under Rule 24A, the application will normally be published within 1 month from the day of request. Just a minute. From, okay, just remember this. Fine. So this way, friends, subsection 2 is completed. So let us proceed to the next subsection. Subsection 3. Subsection 3 says, every application for a patent shall, on the expiry of the period specified under subsection 1, be published except in cases where the application, clause A, B and C. Okay, that means except these three clauses, these three cases, every application for a patent shall, on the expiry of the period as specified under subsection 1, is published. Fine. So let us see what are the exceptional cases or the clauses. Clause A, in which secrecy direction is imposed under section 35, or clause B, has been abandoned under subsection 1 of section 9, or clause C, has been withdrawn 3 months prior to the period specified under subsection 1. Fine. Now, so is we can say, okay, we can say the relevant section here is section 35, that is secrecy directions relating to inventions relevant for defense purposes, and section 9 is provisional and complete specifications. Fine. Okay. Okay. So we can say that except these three clauses, every application for a patent on the expiry of the specified period can be published. Okay, so here you can refer to section 35 and section 9. Also for this particular clause C, you can refer section 35 subsection 2. Okay, so you can also find out the keywords of the particular clause. For example, for clause A, the keyword is imposed. For clause B, the keyword is abandoned, and for clause C, the keyword is withdrawn. Okay, so I have a question for you now. Okay, tell me one thing. Can any other person apart from the applicant file a request for early publication? Please answer in the comment box. Okay friends, let us proceed to the next slide. Subsection 4 says, in case a secrecy direction has been given in respect of an application under section 35, then it shall be published after the expiry of the period prescribed under subsection 1, or when the secrecy direction has ceased to operate, whichever is later. Okay. So the key phrase here is secrecy direction. So whenever secrecy direction word comes, friends, you certainly you have to recall section 35. Fine. So read it again. In case a secrecy direction has been given in respect of an application under section 35, then it shall be published when after the expiry of the period prescribed. That means the period prescribed as per subsection 1. Okay, either condition, or when that secrecy direction has ceased to operate. Okay, so either or condition is there, and whichever is later, that means a time frame is given. Whichever is later between these two, we can say the conditions. That means either it shall be published after the expiry of the period prescribed, or when the secrecy direction has ceased to operate. Whichever is later, that one is considered. Okay, so here actually this prescribed thing, it has been substituted by Patents Amendment Act 2005. Okay, and as we know that the prescribed one, prescribed as per subsection 1 is 18 months from the date of filing of the application. Fine. So, I think now it is clear. Subsection 4 is clear. So, we can proceed for the next one. Subsection 5. Subsection 5 says the publication of every application under this section shall include the particulars of the date of application, number of application, name and address of the applicant, identifying the application and an abstract. That means whatever is required for identifying the application, all should be included. Okay. What are they? They are the date of the application, number of the application and name and address of the applicant. Okay. Along with this identification, an abstract is also included. Fine. So now you can say it very well that the publication of every application under this section, that means as per this section, shall include the particulars needed to identify the application and an abstract. Okay, so we can say what is an abstract? An abstract contains a concise summary. It should not have more than 150 words. That means the word limitation is 150, and it helps in assessing the technical matter. That means whenever you go through an abstract, you can very well assess the technical matter of the application, patent application or the invention, you can say. Fine. So, subsection 6. Subsection 6 says, upon publication of an application for a patent under this section, clause A, the depository institution shall make the biological material mentioned in the specification available to the public. Clause B. The patent office may, on payment of such fee as may be prescribed, make the specification and drawings, if any, of such application available to the public. Okay. So, we can say that upon publication of an application for a patent, as per this section, upon publication of an application, the depository institution shall make the biological matter mentioned in the specification public. It will make the biological material public. Okay. Clause B says the patent office may, on payment of such fee as may be, that means the prescribed fee, make the specification and drawings, if any, of such application available to the public. Okay, so we can very well say that, briefly we can say that biological material in the specification should be made public by the depository institution, and on payment of the prescribed fees, the specification and drawings should also be made public. Fine. So hope this is clear now. So you can refer to section 10 for the contents of the specifications, and particularly for, you can go through section 10 subsection 4. Section 10 subsection 4, actually you can refer, and where the details are given, okay, for the biological material and the depository institution things. Okay, so you can just refer it, nothing else. Okay, so I think now subsection 6 is pretty much clear. Yeah, I have a question for you. Yeah, how many depository institutions for biological materials are present in India? How many? Fine, you have to give the number and then name and locate them. Tell me the names and where they are located. Fine, this is a task for you and you have to answer this in the comment box. Okay, so let us proceed to the next slide. Subsection 7. And this one is the last subsection for section 11A. Okay, so let us proceed. Subsection 7 says, on and from the date of publication of the application for patent and until the date of grant of a patent in respect of such application, the applicant shall have the like privileges and rights as if a patent for the invention had been granted on the date of publication of the application, provided that the applicant shall not be entitled to institute any proceedings for infringement until the patent has been granted, provided further that the rights of a patentee in respect of applications made under subsection 2 of section 5 before the first day of January 2005 shall accrue from the date of grant of the patent. Okay, so another condition is also there. Let me explain this first. Okay, So here, like privileges, this means the royalties. Okay, so we can say that on and from the date of publication of the application for a patent. That means on and from the date of publication of the patent application until the date of grant of a patent, the applicant shall have the like privileges. That means all kinds of royalties and rights as if a patent for the invention had been granted on the date of publication of the application. That means from the date of publication itself, the applicant can get the like privileges and rights. Fine. Provided that, that means there are some conditions, provided that the applicant shall not be entitled to institute any proceedings for infringement until the patent has been granted. That means in this period, the applicant shall not be entitled to any kind of infringement proceedings. Okay. Further condition, provided further that the rights of a patentee in respect of application made under subsection 2 of section 5 before the first day of January 2005 shall accrue from the date of grant of the patent. Okay. So we can say here, here actually subsection 7 as a whole, it is inserted by Patents Amendment Act 2005. Okay, so and for this condition, I am reading it again. Provided further that the rights of a patent in respect of applications made under subsection 2 of section 5 before the first day of January 2005, okay, shall accrue from the date of grant of the patent. Accrue means financial benefits over time. We will read the further criteria. The further criteria is provided also that after a patent is granted in respect of applications made under subsection 2 of section 5, the patent holder shall only be entitled to receive reasonable royalty from such enterprises which have made significant investment and were producing and marketing the concerned product prior to the first day of January 2005 and which continue to manufacture the product covered by the patent on the date of grant of the patent, and no infringement proceedings shall be instituted against such enterprises. That means there are three criteria, three conditions. All the three have to be fulfilled. Okay. So the relevant section here is section 45, that is date of patent, and section 5 is we have discussed here about subsection 2 of section 5. What is section 5? The title is inventions where only methods or processes of manufacture patentable. Only methods or processes, no products. Okay, and for that reason actually it is omitted by the Patents Amendment Act 2005. That means section 5 as a whole is omitted in this Amendment Act. Okay, so we can say as a whole for subsection 7, let me tell you in detail. So we have a date of publication, right? We can say including this date and after this date till the date of grant, the applicant will get all the privileges, same privileges as an applicant gets after the date of after it is granted, we can say. So in the date of grant, we can say privileges in a patent, you get all the privileges on the from the date of grant. Okay, but here the same or like privileges will be obtained by the applicant from the date of publication itself. Okay, so for this, to get this privilege, there are some conditions. Okay, condition 1, the applicant not to be involved with any kind of proceedings for infringement till the application is granted. Condition number 2, the applications which are made before 1st January 2005 under section 5 subsection 2 will get the privileges from the date of grant of the patent. The above applicants will get royalty from the enterprises who has done investments and are the manufacturers and marketers of the concerned product before 1st January 2005 and also on the date of grant of the patent. Also, these enterprises should not be involved with any infringement proceedings. So as a whole, this was the gist of the subsection 7. Okay friends, so this way all the subsections of section 11A is completed now. So please go through the video and please go through the direct. Okay. The reference is the Patents Act 1970. Well friends, I feel you must have liked it.